You've probably heard your restaurant should be making 10% profit margin. I'm going to tell you why chasing that number keeps a lot of restaurant pros stuck. Not because profit is bad, profit is oxygen, but because a benchmark without understanding the decisions behind it is just a shiny number people use to feel either smart or terrible. And neither one pays the bills. Hey there, Restaurant Pro. This is Dave Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula. Today, we're going to talk about the restaurant profit margin myth and why 10% is the wrong target. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying 10% profit is bad. Of course, 10% profit is good. But here's where restaurant pros get trapped. They hear a restaurant should make 10%. Then they look at their P&L and ask, am I there or am I not? If they're not there, they feel like they're failing. If they are there, they think they're safe. Both can be dangerous because profit margin is not a target you magically hit. Profit margin is the result of hundreds of decisions being made consistently inside your restaurant. It is the result of your pricing, your scheduling, your purchasing, your recipe costing, your portion control, your manager discipline, your training, your accountability, your ability to say no to bad habits that feel normal because every day has gotten used to them. So when somebody says you should make 10%, that might be useful as a benchmark, but it does not tell you what to do. And restaurant pros don't need another vague benchmark. They need levers they can pull. Let's break this down. Profit is what is left over after everything else gets paid. Sales come in, then you pay for food, you pay for beverage, you pay for labor, you pay payroll taxes, you pay rent, utilities, insurance, repairs, marketing, merchant fees, software, paper, smallwares, linen, trash, pest control. All the glamorous stuff nobody puts in their dream when they decided to open a restaurant. And whatever is left over, that's profit. So if you want more profit, you don't just aim for 10%. You manage the drivers. The first driver is prime cost. Prime cost is your total cost of goods sold plus your total labor costs, including taxes, benefits, and insurance. For most restaurants, prime cost is the big one. If your prime cost is out of control, your profit margin is already under attack. You can have great sales and still lose money if your food, beverage, and labor costs are not managed properly. This is where a lot of restaurant pros get fooled. They think sales solve everything. Sales are important, but sales without controls just create a bigger mess. If you are losing money at $80,000 a month in sales, you may lose more money at $120,000 a month if systems are broken. That is not growth. That is chaos with better lighting. The second driver is pricing. A lot of restaurant pros underprice because they're afraid. They're afraid guests will complain. They're afraid competitors will be cheaper. They're afraid of being seen as expensive. But here's the hard truth. Your guests do not care that your costs went up if your value did not go up with them. So pricing cannot be random. It cannot be emotional. It has to be based on recipe costing, product movement, guest perception, and profitability. You need to know which items make you money. You need to know which items are popular but weak. You need to know which items look good on the menu but quietly beat up your margins. That does not happen by guessing. The third driver is labor. And labor is not just a percentage. Labor is scheduling to a budget. Labor is having the right people in the right positions at the right time. Labor is cutting when it's slow. Labor is cross-training. Labor is managing overtime. Labor is not letting one superstar employee hold your schedule hostage because nobody else has been trained. That one hurts, doesn't it? Good. It should. Because a lot of restaurants don't have a labor problem. They have a leadership and training problem that shows up as labor cost. Your fourth driver is consistency. Profit does not come from doing the right thing once. It comes from doing the right thing every week. That means weekly numbers, weekly manager meetings, weekly accountability, weekly reviews of purchases, waste, labor, schedules, sales, discounts, comps, and inventory. Too many restaurant pros wait until the P&L shows up. By then, the game is over. That's like watching the scoreboard after the team has already gone home. The P&L is history. Useful history, yes, but still history. If you want to protect your margins, you need weekly controls, not monthly regret. Now, let's come back to the 10% myth. Is 10% profit possible? Yes. Is it a good goal? Maybe. But it depends. A restaurant doing huge volume with tight systems may produce strong profit even at a lower percentage. A smaller restaurant with poor controls may need major operational changes before 10% is even realistic. A concept with heavy labor needs, high rent, or premium ingredients may have a different pressure point than a counter service operation. So the number alone doesn't tell the story. Here's what I want you to do instead. Stop asking, should I be making 10%? Start asking better questions. What is my prime cost? Is my food cost based on actual recipe costing or guessing? Is my labor schedule to a budget or based on habit? Are my managers reviewing numbers weekly? Do I know my break-even point? Do I know how much sales I need to cover fixed costs? Do I know which menu items are helping me and which ones are hurting me? Those questions will get you farther than chasing a random benchmark, because profit margin is not a wish. It's a result. It's the result of control. And control comes from systems. Let me give you a simple way to think about it. Profit is not one big thing. Profit is the leftovers from everything else you allowed to happen. If you allow sloppy scheduling, profits pay for it. If you allow overportioning, profits pay for it. If you allow waste, profits pay for it. If you allow managers to ignore numbers, profits pay for it. If you allow outdated pricing, profits pay for it. If you allow weak training, profits pay for it. Profit gets whatever is left after every bad habit is fed. That's why you can't just chase 10%. You have to manage the habits that create it. So here's your action step. Pull your most recent P&L. Start with your gross profit, not net profit. And let me be very clear. Start with your prime cost, actually. Look at your total cost of goods sold. Look at your total labor costs, including taxes, benefits, insurance. Add them together. Then ask yourself, is this number giving my restaurant a real chance to be profitable? If the answer is no, you don't have a profit margin problem. You have an operational control problem. And that is fixable. But only when you stop worshiping the benchmark and start managing the business underneath it. The goal is not to chase 10%. The goal is to build a restaurant that produces profit on purpose. That is a very different game. There's one number that's quietly killing your restaurant profits, and most owners don't even know what it should be. It's your prime cost. And right now, most restaurants are running at least 15 points higher than they should be, which means you're working harder and making less than you deserve. If you're tired of being stuck in your restaurant, tired of inconsistent or non-existent profits, then it's time to find out what's really going on. I invite you to book a free 30-minute Restaurant Profit Finder call with my team, where you'll uncover exactly what's eating your profits and what it's costing you every single month. Just click the link in the description to get started.